What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Stellar Lumens today, XLM. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. I was just watching something rather interesting from the XLM team here on X.com. All in Crypto posted this saying Stellar Development Foundation CEO Danelle Dixon and Chief Product Officer Jose Fernandez de Ponte on what can be expected from XLM for the remainder of 2025. And he does say in this, I'm not going to play it. You guys can watch it if you want to. Check out All In Crypto. Type in XLM. Type in Jose Fernandez de Ponte, or whatever. Any of these words here, you'll find this video. And he does say that as the year progresses, before the end of the year, there's going to be some of the biggest names in payments and asset management are going to be dropped on the Stellar network, right? So that's pretty cool. They're going to be going live. There's going to be some big things going on. You know, something else that I heard here, a little fun fact about Stellar Lumens that Jose mentions, and he's the chief financial officer. What was it that he is? He's the chief product officer. Sorry, the CPO. He mentions that Stellar Lumens has outpaced the average DeFi protocol when it comes to total value locked, right? The average DeFi protocol over this year has seen something like a 2x in total value lock, which is great. That means that there's a market and a desire and an interest in DeFi as a whole. But for Stellar Lumens, where the average coin saw a 2x in total value locked, Stellar, their ecosystem saw a 9x in total value locked over this year, which is crazy stuff, you guys, in a very short amount of time. And I think that definitely implies some big things are coming for Stellar. I want to talk about the short-term stuff here. I want to go over the charts. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a little dose of hopium, right? We always it's nice to have a little hopium in the morning, although it actually is more like midday for me. Here we are, my friends. It is the 16th of September. Sitting here at about 38.5 cents. We've got 14 days and 3.5 hours left in this month. We're over halfway through this month of September. It's phenomenal. I don't believe that we're going to go lower. I very much believe that we have found the low. Anything's possible. Of course, anything's possible. But I wouldn't be surprised in the least if this month provided the highest. This month of September, in the next 14 days, this month could provide the highest closing monthly price that we've ever seen in Stellar Lumens history. And if not the highest, then one of the highest, right? Maybe the not one, not two, not three, but the fourth highest or something like that, right? These are all pretty much in tandem. We look at this. Look at how clean that is. That's such a clean line. That's so crazy. 38.5 cents. Yeah, to 52 cents or more by the end of the month. Absolutely. We might be above there and then come back down, but I would assume we're closing around this area, if not higher. I really wouldn't be surprised if we're at new all-time highs by the end of this month. But we have a lot of growth to go in a very short amount of time. Let's talk about it. Let's look at the indicators, okay? I want to go on the 1 hour time frame, and then we can zoom back out. Man, Bitcoin's having a little bit of a rally today, isn't it? Looking great, man. Had a bearish beginning or a bearish view about 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago. Now it's coming back up. Love to see it. This makes sense. I would have expected that we did hit this golden ratio zone before the FOMC. I do think that we'll pull back a little bit going into the FOMC meeting. But anyways, we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe we're just going to blast right through. There, the fact that we're moving up right now, the FOMC, just so you know, I know we're talking about Bitcoin, but we're also talking about Stellar Lumens. What's good for Bitcoin is good for Stellar as well. They had a meeting today. I know the announcement happens tomorrow, but a lot of people forget that they're actually meeting today. So whenever it comes to insider information, the fact that we're doing this right now, I think the insider information is good. There's something that's going to be announced tomorrow that's going to be received well across the board. I do expect a little volatility, and with that, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but don't get shaken out if we do move down. Typically, whenever we have good news, we do actually move down. You buy the hype, you sell the news, right? The hype is buying into the FOMC meeting. The sell the news event is once the meeting happens. Maybe we'll rip. Maybe I'm wrong, but and I think we will rip afterwards. Just maybe like for the first few days we correct a little bit, but it won't be significant. It just might feel weird. It might generate some emotional disruption if we get good news and then we dump. Right? Don't believe any of the negative narratives that you hear over the coming days. Okay. Anyways, here we are at 38.5 cents right now, getting on with our bad selves. Looking at the hourly RSI, hitting the overbought zone. Not as much as we were before, which is not encouraging. the most encouraging, but we're at least getting overbought, which is nice to see. We do have higher lows, which is nice to see as well. It's in pretty good trajectory there. I think I drew a pretty straight line there. It's a good look. It's a good look on the 1 hour RSI. I like it, and I think that we're at an area now to bounce as well. So maybe we do. Bitcoin's moving up. Why can't we? We're right at this area here. Let's look at something with some volume on it. I want to put you on Binance here. Yeah, volume's coming down. We could break lower. It's possible. You could break lower. Typically, when your volume breaks down and you're in a consolidation phase, that just all that says is that you're going to break out one way or the other. Whichever way we break out, when the volume starts to come back in, that's how we know it's valid. So even if we go lower, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, even if we go lower from here, I doubt that we go below 38 cents personally. And even if we do, if we go below these lows, which I honestly don't expect, but even if we go below these lows, we'd likely not go below 36.8 cents. But I'm personally under the opinion that we don't go below these lows here. I don't even think we go below 38 cents. So we're at 38.5 cents now. The downside is insignificant compared to the upside. With that all being said, though, looking at this, if this were to be an ABC correction, oops, that's not how I meant to draw it. Let's just draw it like this, 2 parts. That might take you down to 35. It would be a higher low. I really have a hard time seeing us get below this level. I have a very hard time seeing us get below this level. I don't think that we're going to, but let's look at the fibs here. If we do go lower, just understand it'll be a higher low at least, or at most, in reference to this low here. It will be at the most a higher low. Low here to a high there. Finding support at the 0.5, getting above the 382. It's sloppy, but I think it looks fine. Looking at the 4-hour indicators here. Right, same thing. You had no volume here when you were consolidating. Then you broke out, and what'd you find? Volume. So that validates the breakout move. Stochastics look fine. A little turbulence here, which isn't ideal, but you've found turbulence before and continue to grow. You've done that actually a good bit. So it's the 4-hour time frame. It's less reliable. The RSI looks bullish overall. You're in a bearish circumstance right now, rejecting the 50, sure. But overall, you're getting overbought. You're not getting oversold. I think you look good. I think you want to keep moving up. Yeah, and the MACD here is actually a good area to find support as well. The MACD is probably your most bearish kind of indicator at the moment, but even then, I'm not bearish on it. Yeah, if you go a little bit lower, 38 cents is where I think you'd find support. At the most, maybe you go to like 35.8 cents, 35 cents itself, but I genuinely don't believe that we'll even see prices below 38 cents. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Maybe after the FOMC meeting, maybe if we move up a little bit from here, FOMC meeting happens, maybe we do go a little bit below 38 cents or something like that, but I don't know. Time will tell. Let's look at the daily time frame. The daily MACD looks like it wants to cross above the 0. Why can't I draw? Wants to cross above the 0. We just need a little oomph, a little pep in our step. You don't want to reject here. That wouldn't look good. The stochastics look like you want to bounce here. That's great, and so does the RSI. All these indicators look phenomenal, actually. They're all ready to show really solid strength, right? Whenever the stochastics gets overbought and then bounces off the 50 and then gets back into the overbought zone, that's a really good look. That would very much validate this low. When the daily MACD crosses above the 0, that's a really good look. When the RSI is bouncing off the 50, we get into the overbought zone, that's a really good look. So you're primed to do all these good things. Just do them. Move up. They're only going to happen if you move up, and I think that you will. I personally think that you will. Let's look at this from a high to a low. The high back in July to the low here. 382.236, it's perfect. It's actually quite literally perfect. This scenario, 382.236, I don't know if you've been watching the YouTube channel for a month or 2 months or a year, but if you've watched the YouTube channel, you know that we've talked about this exact kind of, what's the word, schematic, this base of operations when it comes to how you perform in the Fibonacci retracement. This kind of trend where you go from the 382 to the 236 up to the golden ratio down to the 0.5 382 area for support up here, like this kind of stair-stepping pattern, it's very common. You're doing one of the most common phases of consolidation from your 382 is going to the 236 and holding support. I would say with a very high degree of likelihood that you found your low, you're not going to go lower than this low, and that you will inevitably move up to about 44.4 cents to 46 cents. That'd be my expectation, somewhere there. You probably do find turbulence there. Prior resistance, prior support, golden ratio. Makes sense that you find resistance there. Back test, find support somewhere between the 0.5 or the 382, maybe right here at the top. And then from there, you're rocking and rolling. Okay, then from there, you could stop at the 786, 886, or maybe you just continue to run higher. Then we're at 58 cents or more. And I mean, by the way that I have this drawn, it would be, maybe by the end of October or sorry, by the end of September, that were up here around 50 cents to begin with. So again, maybe we're at the highest highs for a monthly close. Maybe we're just near them, but we're going to be, I would think that October will promote the highest close in XLM's history. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. If we look at the weekly time frame, the weekly time frame here, we take the high to low from the last bull market, okay? You found resistance at the 886, 786 area, came back to the 0.5382. That's actually very common. Understand that if you ever see a scenario where you go from the high to a low in your fibs, I don't care if it's the weekly time frame, the monthly, the daily, the 1 hour, the whatever, and you rip right through your golden ratio zone like this, you stop at the 786, 886 almost every time. And afterwards, from there, you'll go, if it's the 886, you'll likely go to your 0.5382. If it's the 786, you'll likely go to your 382.236, and sometimes even lower. But it's actually very common what you're doing here. It's a little bit more, let's say, hectic. It's a little more volatile, but what you're doing is very common. Now you're finding higher lows. You're finding resistance at the 786 and now support in the golden ratio zone right at prior resistance here. You look great. You look great. There's zero doubt in my mind that you're moving up to targets at $1.54 to $2.20 or above over the coming weeks, right? By the end of October, if you're not at $1.54, it's only because you're higher, okay? Perhaps prices above $2 takes until the end of the year to get to. Perhaps it does. I would think that you're at even higher prices than that by the end of the year, but we'll see. I would very much be surprised if Stellar saw anything less than $1.54 by the end of October, though. But I'm personally anticipating we get above $2. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said it all. Let's look at the ribbons real quick. I forget if we did that last time or not, but I think it's good to check in with these every now and then. They're not the end-all, be-all, but it's just a good kind of way to observe the momentum being built off of these moving averages here. First off, that's a phenomenal look off the weekly ribbon. That's beautiful, right? This kind of look here where you're consistent and you're not bouncing really, you're just hugging it, you will go lower. You're not really doing that here. You are decisively bouncing. So that's beautiful. It's good to see. The daily ribbon here. Weird, but it kind of looks like a false cross to the downside. As long as we could persist higher, you really want to start closing prices above 38.7 cents, 39 cents really. Let's just say 39 cents to make it easy to remember. You want to start closing prices on a daily time frame above 39 cents. The lower we close, you'd validate this cross, and that actually could promote trouble. I don't think you're going to, so I'm calling for you to move up. 3-day looks fine, right? Again, you start living in it and you go lower into the ribbon. I'm actually surprised you didn't go lower, but that's okay. Sometimes weird things happen. Monthly time frame here. Monthly ribbon looks phenomenal, so that's the exact reaction you want to have. Anyways, things look good. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'm very curious to see what these big names are that they're talking about here that Jose's mentioning on this interview. I hate that it just blinked. I call that blinking whenever it does that, when it like refreshes. Definitely curious to see what some of these biggest names and payments are. I have a theory that the buy the hype, sell the news narrative or idea will work for this. Whenever they release the news that whatever bank, whatever institution is using their network or going live on their network, when those names get dropped, I have a feeling it'll be a massive sell the news event, probably. We'll probably get that by the end of October. Mark my words, it'll be in October or maybe even sometime in early November. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.